Racing and Wallaby Racing League. Waiting on everyone to ready up and join the lobby. This is Qatar this week. We're in for a gutsy half 50% race in the Tier 4 division. As always, I am Break or Braden. You can call me whichever. We're getting into qualifying for tonight. As always, read out the names. Not everyone's here. We're missing 2 people today. Not sure. I can't remember who it is. I think one is Rabbit and Cubs. I don't think. Yeah, Cubs is not here at the moment, but they should be getting here. There they are. He's joining right now. As we've got Zach and Felzy in the Mercedes, Cub and Gob in the Kick cars. In the Alpine cars, we've got Arthur and Sept. In Haas, we've got Orb and War Machine. Oh, someone's already coming out of the pits. That looked like a Red Bull. In the Aston Martins, we have Nutsy and Ollie. As there goes another one out there. Today, holy. Oh, I just need to get this back up. Perfect. We have, in the Williams, we have Pashala and Goffey. In the RBs, we have J Swole and CLM. I miss Vettel in the McLaren. I believe his teammate's on his way, Mr. Rabbit. Maybe not be going into qualifying tonight. We're starting at the back of the grid as we see an Aston Martin coming out of the pits. And we will switch to Mr. Zach, who's currently on his out lap. We'll get his stuff on the screen. Rabbit leaving the session. He might have a little bit of a problem there. Calling it now. Batman wins the Qatar GP. Well, you put your bets in. I don't know if you get much back, but watching a couple of these cars on their out laps. Rapid NT, thank you for the follow. As you can see, there's the new Wallaby Racing alerts. On your screen right now. That stuff off my screen. Let's see what everyone's bringing out. We got everyone on softs except for Cub and Pajala running out laps on mediums at the moment. As Zachariah goes into his first lap, cutting through the first sector of this track. Not sure. He's going for his first qualifying lap of this session. Not sure why I don't have sector times on my screen, but we will get that sorted out as he comes to his second sector, flying around these corners, 350 k's an hour. See how Mr. Oh, wrong person. We go to, who was it? Chevy Wolves coming in. He didn't finish his lap. Not sure what happened there, but Zach's still going on his lap. As we get these times up on the screen as they start coming over the line. Zach with a 1:23.1. First guy to finish a lap in the session. Not bad. Quick times. And we got Arthur coming over the line. Oh, I need to change this with a 1:23.01. Oh, Nutsy coming over with a 1:23.01. Arthur with a 1:23.06. Very, very close here. And Non-Stop with a .079. All these in the threes right now. Non-Stop coming over with 0.79. Zach with a 1:36. Combo with a 6.73. And Orb coming over with an 8.25. As we switch to... Oh, wrong one. Coco's also Cub coming through the third sector now, trying to put a time on the board. Mr. J Swell, 1:36, must have just had a slow lap there, coming over the line. Another out lap for him. As Cub comes round into the final section of this race, opens the wing wide, ERS full, as he comes over the line in 8th of the 1:25. Well, who was that? Everyone's on the outlaps right now. We've got a Ferrari of Batman coming onto his first lap now. A lot of cars still in the pits of Kurgo Cuds, who made it in. Felty Rabbit, who made it in the session as well. So there's your two McLarens, Vettel and Rabbit. And then you've got your two Ferraris of Cuds and Batman. You want a hot lap of Mr. Sept, who I believe is currently on one. My bad, I didn't see that one before, as he opens his DRS for the final time this lap. And doesn't seem to be improving on that time. Oh no, there's Sepp there. Coming through Sector 2, he's 0.3 of a second quicker at the moment. Currently on a hot lap in that Alpine. Very smooth corner taking, hitting the apex on both sides of the track. Makes his way cleanly through the second sector. As we get through, as he opens that wing right down, makes it down the final straight of the track, puts in a new fastest lap, 3.5 quicker at 1:22.24, making the gap now 0.3 of a second between most. A lot of cars just coming out on the track now. As we watch Felsi come through the second sector on his hot lap. Now, Qatar is a very, very fast track. Lots of high speed, medium speed corners. A lot of things to watch out for, a lot of battles. People keep a DRS train, will be in for a very, very interesting race. I'll try and cover as much of that one as possible. As we watch Felsi come through the final sector, hitting the final straight, opening that wing all the way up, 287, 290 k's an hour as he comes over the line, puts him in 12th, just behind Almighty Gob and his teammate Zachary. Now, Kirko is still in the pits, but we do have Cuds, who seems to be on a hot lap right now, coming through Sector 2. His ERS open on hot lap as he's wasting a lot of that energy as he hits the third sector. This is his first hot lap of the race. As he comes into the final corner, almost goes over the line there, opens that wing all the way up. Now 1:24.9 for Cuds, putting him in 16th place. Now I believe Mr. War Machine in the Haas is currently on a hot lap as well as he hits Sector 2. A lot of energy left in that battery of his. As we come around these fast corners, 180 k's an hour, 260 through this. No lifting for War Machine around those corners in 7th. Over the line, not sure if that's an invalidated lap. We'll find out in a second, as he keeps his foot flat into the third sector. War Machine putting in a lap time of, 123.2, putting him into 11th place, as Perko's now on his out lap. See where he is before we get into his lap, putting in his first section of the lap. Current standings, as we've got a caution on my screen, but that is just a spectator's glitch. There we go. With 8 minutes left, we have in the Alpine VSEPT 122.2. Then in the RB, Mr. Swole. In a Red Bull, Mr. Wolves. In fourth in the Ferrari is Batman. Then non-stop in the RB, we have Zachariah in sixth with 122.8. In the Mercedes, Vettel currently in 7th. The two Astons in 8th and 9th. Alpine Arthur in 10th. War Machine 11th. Gob in 12th. Felzy in 13th. Orb in 14th. 15th is Rabbit. 16th is Bajala. Or Rapid. 17th is Cuds. 18th is the Cub. Goffey in 19th. And Kirko's currently on his outlap. Don't think he's realised that he's still running no ERS, but that is okay. He'll figure that out in a second. With 7 minutes left on the clock, Zachariah's coming out for another lap to try and improve on his time. We will switch to him real quick as he comes into the second sector. Not improving on his time at all, I don't believe. But we're in for a hell of a ride. Very, very close at the moment. Less than a second between everyone in the top 10. And less than a second, maybe 2 in the rest of them, as Zachariah comes into the pit. We'll switch to Felzy, who is currently on a hot lap as he comes over the starting line. Coco definitely pulling out of his hot lap just then with a 5.9 second deficit on the rest of the grid. As we watch Mr. Wolves kind of trying to improve on his time, rolling through sector one, nice and clean. Sorry, I will get that up right now. Wide open as he comes over and improves on his time by 0.4 of a second, leaving him. Oh, why is this not going now? Why is my laptop's not working? That's okay. Only 5,000th of a second behind Sept. As we come through. There we go, fixed it, all Gucci. Now we've got Nutsy in the Aston Martin currently on a hot lap. I was watching come through the middle sector of this track, very, very fast round the 9th, 10th and 11th corners, with 4 minutes left on the clock for qualifying today. Still got Sept in first, Chevy in second, Swole in third, Batman in fourth, CLM or non-stop in fifth, Zach in sixth, Vettel in seventh, Nazi in eighth, Arthur in ninth, Holly in 10th, War in 11th, Gob in 12th, Felzy in 13th, Rajala in 14th. Orb in 15th, Felty in 16th, Cuds in 17th. We'll switch to Felty, who's currently on a hot lap. Kirko in 18th, come in 19th and Goffey in 20th. Kirko getting a better time than he did the first round, putting him in 18th for tonight. As we hit around the 2-minute mark, we will see a lot of drivers come out, try and put a better lap on, as we see a few people coming out now, with Sept going to try and beat his time right now. Felty coming in on his pass lap, Kirk on a hot lap, Zach coming in on a hot lap, and a lot of other drivers coming on for their out laps with Mr. J Swole, War Machine, Gob, Felty on their out laps right now. As we watch Sept try and improve on his time, as we get a caution through sector 1, not sure who that is. Looks to be the Hat. Not Orb, it would have been War Machine who was stopped on the track causing that one, but we'll switch back to Sept, who's currently stopped his fastest lap, I believe, or he's just allowing the McLaren space there as we come through into the third sector. Not improving on his time. Switch to Mr. J Swole, who's currently on another app. Everyone is now on the lap except for Kirko, who will finish his qualifying at 18th unless Carben Goffey can outpace him with a minute 20 left. This is most people's last laps, as I believe J Swole was almost slowed down there by the Hat driver, Zach, retiring from the session in 6th place. It's still anybody's game out here right now. Joey coming over the track. J Swole not improving on his time, will finish qualifying here in 3rd place. But as I said, it's anybody's race, anybody's qualifying right now. Anyone can improve, anyone cannot. As we switch to Mr. Orb, who's currently on a hot lap. Caution in sector 3. Must have been the Ferrari just slowing down, letting others by right now. Definitely that sector goes away. As Orb takes it a little bit wide, but he gathers that really well. Coming through sector 2 now, around the 8th corner. Very fast 9th and 10th corner right here, 250 k's an hour. As he gets a little bit of a lockup coming around that bend. Nothing too stressful for Orb. Felty Rabbit also retiring from the session early. Currently in 16th, Kirko finished. Felty's out and Ollie has finished his time for the day. As we watch Orb come around the second last corner of this track. ERS wide open. Final corner. As he turns his overtake, opens that DRS, and comes over, improving on his time by 0.6 of a second, putting him in 12th. That would be back on track. And Chevy Wolves coming over with a 121.19, taking pole on this race over Sept, who I am not sure must be on a hot lap right now. They're going to fight for pole right now. Thank you, Back on Track, for the follow. Welcome to Wallaby League Racing. As most people come over the line, 2 minutes left. Everyone should be on their final laps that are on the track right now. Sept's trying to improve as he comes around the last corner. Little bit of a slide there. Opens his DRS. Doesn't open his overtake button. Does not improve. We have Chevy Wolves on pole with a 122.19. Sept just behind him. 122.2. Vettel. In the second row, we have Vettel and Batman. In the third row, we have Mr. J Swole and Nutsy. In the fourth row, we have Nonstop and Zach. In the 5th row, we have Arthur and Combo. In the 6th row, we have Almighty and Orb. 7th row, War Machine and Belzy. In the 8th row, Pajala or Rapid and Rabbit fighting for that one. In the 9th row, we have Carbon and Cubs and Kirko and Goffy in the back row. Well done to Mr. Wolves taking that pole position to start the Qatar Grand Prix. As we say again, this is your lineup for today. We shall get into this very interesting, very fast-paced race with all of the top 10 qualifiers right now within a second of each other. The pole position and the second driver, less than 1/100th of a second, or less than 5/100ths of a second, sorry, between each other. It's going to be a very interesting race between the Aussie and the New Zealander. As everybody loads in to our 50%er Tier 4. As we wait for everyone give us your thoughts. Bomb's already coming in with the Ferrari win tonight. Rilo calling Sept. Jeremon74 calling Batman. It'll be very interesting how it goes. Laser, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Wallaby Racing League. We are just about to get in for our Qatar Grand Prix, round 11. Any more predictions in the chat while we wait for everyone to load in? Sept has the glitch and can't start the race. Alright guys, we will be right back as we fix this one up. I guess we're off. As we get into the first corner. Is the lobby glitched? I guess not. Very fast pace as Vettel. As Chevy Wolves loses 2 places off the start, they're set taking it in the front, and VLT Vettel coming over at 2nd place. As well, a very, very fast start. Ooh, incident up in the back there with the drivers. As Batman losing multiple positions from the start. As we watch the 2 lead drivers coming over the line here. The gap's up on the screen for you guys. Zachary going back into 20th, not sure what happened there. Alright, thank you for that one, Mason. We'll get that sorted for you right now. There we go. Is that better for you, Mason? As we watch a large gap form between every single driver right now, as we have the RB of Mr. J. Swall and the Red Bull of Chevy Wolves fighting in the second lap of this Grand Prix. Swall coming around the outside, taking the inside line, backs out of that one, does not go for the overtake right now. Still less than 0.2 of a second behind the Red Bull of Chevy Wolves. At the back is a fight between the Aston Martins, the McLarens and the Kicks. As we see a nice change between Combo, who's gone down into 15th, and Rabbit, who's come up into 14th. Very, very close start to this race. We have currently standing after the first lap of this race, Sept in first, Vettel in second, Wolves in third, Swole in fourth, Non-Stop in fifth, Batman in sixth, Almighty in seventh, Arthur in eighth, Felzy in ninth, War Machine in 10th, Orb in the other house in 11th, Cubs in 12th, Rapid in 13th, Rabbit in 14th, Ollie in 15th, Cub in 16th, 17th is Goffy, 18th is Coco, 19th is Zach. Not sure what happened there, fell back in the pack, and the Aston Martin of Nutsy a whole 20 seconds behind the rest of the pack with what looks to be wing damage. As we come back with the fight between Mr. J Swole and the Chevy Wolves, as he's wing to wing with him as he comes up on the right side, overtaking DRS wide open, cuts back in front. The other RB also getting in front as we come around the first corner of this Grand Prix. Both Red Bulls overtaking, both RBs, overtaking the Red Bull. Batman cuts in front of Chevy as well, pushing him back down into 6th. Both RBs fighting great fights already in this Grand Prix. As we come down into 10th and 9th, where Felzy is trying to overtake Arthur for 8th place right now, coming on the outside of the hairpin. Or as Batman slows right down on that corner and loses 2 positions, letting multiple cars get in front, splitting the Hasses between 9th, 10th and 11th. Chevy wing damage hit the back of Non-Stop entering turn 1. Copy that one. I thought I saw damage, wasn't sure what that was. As we enter the halfway through the 3rd lap of this race, looks like Nutsy's entering the pits, possibly for a new wing coming out now. Very close center pack right now between Restless, Batman, War Machine, Felzy and Arthur. Not many gaps opening right now other than the front 5 between... Oh, something's happened to Chevy. Oh, he's entered the pits. There must be damage. He's going to replace that wing, come back out, and he's going to come back out swinging. Only gaps we're seeing right now forming are Sept, who's currently got a 2-second lead on the rest of the pack, going to try and open up a nice little window for pit at the moment, as Felty gets hit with a 3-second penalty for track limits, all the way down in 19th, trying to catch up to the rest of the pack at the moment. As we go back to the middle of the pack, where the DRS train is hitting hard. All these racers, all these drivers coming round into the 2nd sector, almost touching each other. Very, very clean, very, very nice racing through the center pack. As we watch, let me just pull up Felcy, who is currently chasing Arthur for 6th down the main straight. DRS wings are going to open right up as we switch to Arthur, who's closing in on Almighty God. Will he take this? Comes up the side. Felcy coming on both sides, almost makes contact with the early braking of Felcy. Side by side comes Arthur. Oh, and contact between Felcy and Arthur, as Arthur slides back in between 3 wide coming through the 2nd sector. More contact between the Alpines, the Hasses and the Kicks. Kick Sauber drivers, as Arthur's forced wide out onto the track. Gets back in front of Almighty Gob. Very, very close racing. Almost incidental between this, as Mr. J Swole closing in on Vettel up in the front. As we come into Nutsy with a 3-second penalty for track limits at the back pack right now. as we watch this fight between Mr. Swole and VLT Vettel in the McLaren, as Mr. J Swole closes in, coming into the final corner of this race. DRS, it will be activated for him. Will he make this move? He comes in on the outside line, gets in front, coming into the first corner of the track. It is side-by-side action. I hit the wrong button. And he gets in front. VLT Vettel overtaken by Mr. J Swole in the first corner of this track. As we hit lap 6, a fifth of the way through this race right now. Battle for P2 heating up. Yes, sir, it is. It's going to be a fight for the ages, as Sept currently with a 4-second lead, trying to get himself a nice overcut window for this. As we have a look, I will get the menu up. Now, Chevy, who qualified in pole position, currently sitting in 18th. V-Sept made it all the way up into first. Combo Ollie just hit with a 3-second penalty. Also Arthur Set hit with a penalty for track limits. Most drivers gaining positions. Batman, who started in 4th, is now currently sitting in 8th. Non-Stop has come up 3 positions into 4th. Felzy coming up 9 positions into 5th. War Machine in 6th, coming up 7 whole positions. Arthur coming up 2 positions into 7th. Batman coming down into 8th. Almighty coming up into 9th. Orb coming up into 10th. Rapid coming up into 11th. Ollie in 12th. Cuds in 13th. Cub in 14th. Zach in 15th. Coffee in 16th. Kirko and Chevy in the 2 Red Bulls, currently sitting in 17th and 18th. Felty coming up in 19th and Nutsy in thing. Now, most of the front drivers sitting on mediums. Arthur opting for the hard tyre. Same with Almighty Gob. Going to have late pit stops by both of them. As Vettel gets back in front of Mr. J Swole as this fight continues in the background. Sorry about everything on the screen, guys. Most drivers opting for the mediums are slightly quicker on this track at the moment, but as you know, they're picking up 2 different compounds. It's anybody's race. Arthur on hards, Almighty Gob on hards, keeping their points positions at the moment. Goffey, Kirko, Wolves, and Rabbit all sitting on the hards. Wolves and Goffey putting on hards at the start of this race as they had to pit early. As we continue to watch, Batman coming up close as the mid-pack is still very close at the moment, as we almost see Arthur coming up the back of Felzy. He does have a 3-second penalty, so if he does get past right now, it is anybody's thing. Both DRS open for Arthur and Batman. Batman gets in front of one. He's going to come on the inside. Is he going to cut in? He's going to cut in between. Side by side through the first corner of this thing is Arthur and Batman. Batman gets ahead. But it's still very close here in the mid-section. It's turn 2. And they opt to keep it safe. Batman coming in. Haas of Restless Orb coming on the inside of Arthur at the moment. Doesn't make the move. As a very, very, very close race in the mid-pack right now. The two RBs of Mr. J Swole and Non-Stop, both fighting very well at the front here, making Red Bull proud. Warwar up into 5th as Longjet is screaming across the paddock to get him up into the top of the podium today. Mr. Sept running his own race at the moment, currently 6 seconds ahead of anyone else. Is running a very, very tight lap times, very consistent, bringing that to 6 seconds, nearly just under a second a lap quicker than the rest of the field right now, as everyone in the top 10 comes around the first corner. And a very long DRS train is going to be happening here as I turn this off so you can all see. All those DRS, any overtakes happening right now. Batman trying to come up the inside, doesn't opt to go in. Goes around the outside takes a wide line through this sector. No overtakes happening that time, but we will get back. Arthur with another 3-second thing for track limits, making it 6 seconds for Arthur, 3 seconds for Ollie, 3 seconds for Nazi, and 3 seconds for Rabbit as we come into this. We watch a very, very tight 6th to 11th fight right now. I will close this and we can get more of the action on the screen. Oh, as the Alpine takes it really wide through that corner there. Very, very close. Wing touches the Batman there. Arthur getting it real close and very aggressive as we come down the straight. Felzy overtaking. War trying to go for the inside. But Batman coming in, getting back in front, putting him up into 6th. Arthur coming around the outside of Almighty Gob is very close in this back section right now as they come side by side, but Arthur comes out on top, keeping his position of 8th. Almighty Gob fighting for this one very, very close. As Orb goes to go around the inside, pops out of that one. Back up into the leaders pack, we have Mr. J Swole, who's got back in front of the McLaren, Vettel in 3rd, and the other RB of Nonstop in 4th. As we get on this, as Mr. J Swole decides to get a little bit slidey on that one. Those tyres, very, very hot, very, very warm, will become very slidey if he puts too much power down too early. But a very, very clean race from both of the RBs at this stage. The Alpine of Sept currently losing time. Boys catching up to him periodically, but he is out in front by 5.8 seconds. And the leaders pack currently a whole 6-second difference between 12 seconds between first and thing, as we witness another DRS overtake by Batman up into 5th, overtaking Felzy, the mid-pack, fighting for their lives, as we just witness Pajala going down the inside of Restless, not making the move stick just then. The Haas getting in front and into 10th place. But a very close fight between Williams and Haas in for 10th at the moment. All these drivers within a second of each other. All these drivers fighting. Cub all the way back in 15th, picks up a 3-second track limit penalty as we come into the 11th lap. A third of the way done through this race has been very interesting. Sept currently with a 6.1 second lead. Both RBs now in front of the McLaren as they race very, very well together. Keeping their lines clean, keeping their lines thin. Non-stop in 3rd, picking up a 3-second penalty. Devastating for the RBs of 3rd place, as War Machine also picks up a 3-second penalty. Lots of penalties on Qatar. It's a very fast track. It is very easy to slip up on the limits coming around each corner. As we watch Arthur and Gob get back into it down the final straight, DRS wing open for the 3 drivers behind Felcy. As War Machine goes for it up the inside, taking the inside line, no contact there, doesn't get it to stick. He has to cut back behind Felcy. Arthur and Gob still fighting for 8th position right now. As Wing, they touched contact between Arthur and Gob. Not sure if that's detrimental wing damage, but I definitely saw sparks. Gap to lead is nuts. Yes, the 6.6 second lead is still anybody's race. There still could be a safety car. there could be a slow pit stop. 6.8 seconds Sept currently has on the rest of the pack. Second, third and fourth all within half a second of each other as we fight through. The mid-pack fighting very, very strong right now. As Sept maybe gets DRS here. He does not, but he will have to overtake Nazi in a second as he gets the blue flag coming around the first corner. This should be clean. A nice, clean overtake. As Nazi, the first driver to get lapped in this Grand Prix, as the two RBs decide to switch positions as they fight through the first second section of this track. Gap 2 lead. All of the top drivers currently are on mediums. Almighty Goblin Arthur sitting on hards, Cuz on hards. War Machine and Goffey are currently on hards. War Machine opting to pit for the hards. Lap 13 into this race, just under halfway through. We have Chevy and Rabbit, who have also pitted already for their hard tyres, and Nutsy at the back with brand new medium tyres. Not many pit stops have happened yet. Only the stops of War Machine, Chevy, Rabbit, and Nutsy. VSEP currently holding the fastest lap of 1:25.5. As my TK pod decides it doesn't want to work anymore, we will have to stick to broadcast for the rest of this race. F1 24, what a great game. Batman retired from the session. Why is nothing working? We'll fix this one up in a second, guys. Batman's retired from the session. As Vettel, Felsi, Restless Orb, Pajala, Cuds, Zach, and Combo have all decided to pit for their hard tyres as they all come out now. Also coming into the pits is Cud. It's Cub in the kicks. Is everyone also there? Safety car is out. Safety car is out. Batman is off the track. I cannot switch to him as he is retired from the session already. But the safety car is out, guys. A lot of people opting to change their tyres right now. There is the safety car on your screen. Batman is off and out of this race. If anyone has any information, please let me know, as I was not on Batman when it happened. As the safety car comes out, here are your current standings. We have Mr. V Seps, who's currently in the pits. In at first, Mr. J Swole and Nonstop coming out. Mr. J Swole also going into the pits and Nonstop. This is going to be a 2-3 pit stop. Hopefully they get out in time. In fourth, we got Almighty, who's in the pits. Fifth in Arthur is in the pits. Sixth, we have BLT Vettel. In seventh, we have Felsi. Eighth, we have the two Williams of Goffey and Rapid. In 10th, we have Orb. Tyres after stops, please. All good, Aussie. I will be there in a second. In 11th, we have Cuds. In 12th, we have War Machine. In 13th, we have Zach. 14th, Combo. 15th and 16th, the two Red Bulls of Kirko and Wolves. 17th, we have the Cub, Felty, Rabbit. In 18th, Nutsy. In 19th, and our only DNFer of this race is Batman, who's caused this current safety car. As we come out, tyres there. Felty, Rabbit, and Kirko and Wolves on the longest hards of this track. Right now, most people have opted the Goffey back on Brandstead new medium tyres. Cud's taking his medium tyres from qualifying and putting them back on. Arthur and Gob putting on mediums. They started theirs on hards. And everyone else on the track is on hards. As the pit stop strategy did not work for RB, putting non-stop back into fourth, Vettel into third, and Mr. J. Swan back up into second. As we get rolling, Nutsy going into the pits, putting on a brand new set of medium tyres on the Chevy. Coming out of the pits now, currently sitting in last place is Nutsy, running his own race at the moment, putting on his mediums. The safety car is out. We're just over halfway through this race at the moment. As we come through one more lap of the safety car, hopefully. See if my cam is still not working, so we were saying Kirko got a track limit warning during the safety car. We'll give it another 3-second penalty at this race. A lot of black and white flags this race. As we have Felty coming back into the pits. Put on a fresh set of tyres for him. Most drivers are going to finish their race on this tyre with 13 laps to go. After we get back rolling, we'll have Sept in first, Swole in second, Vettel in third, Non-Stop in fourth, Felzy in fifth, Gob in sixth, Arthur in seventh, Rapid in eighth, Restless in ninth, and 10th place is Cuds. Now, as this is going to be a rolling start, it's going to be very interesting how this plays out during the first corner, as we have a whole straight of people trying to get around and past each other. Nearly a kilometre worth of straight for these very fast cars. We will see a nice battle now that everyone's on fresh tyres. Now, there was a 6-second gap between Sept and Mr. J. Swole at the start of this race. Mr. J. Swole, who qualified, I believe, in fourth. Yep, I was right, in fourth. Currently sitting second. Safety car in this lap as we get ready to race again. We'll be fighting Mr. Sept for the lead to finish off this race. The two RBs currently sitting in the top 5 and Vettel sitting in the back. As I take this off the screen, and we're off racing again. We got Non-Stop coming up the side of Vettel, coming into the first corner. The Alpine of Sept making a nice little gap off the start there. Non-Stop coming up the inside, not being able to get that to stick. You've the two cars of Almighty Gob coming up and taking over Sept. They're still side by side. Almighty Gob sent back out, pushed off the track behind Arthur, who's currently now in 6th. Felty and Non-Stop also fighting again. You got the McLaren. Felty on the tail end. Arthur trying to push up on the outside of the Mercedes, coming into the fourth corner of this track. Coming round the corner. As some attack, someone's wing got taken off there. Not sure whose it was. Coming around the corner. As the McLarens at the front fighting Mr. J. Swole for the start here. Half a second between Sept and Mr. J. Swole coming into the last sector of this race. Trying to get enough gap for the DRS. We've got Almighty Gob on the tail end of Arthur Sept. Pajala on his tail. Cuds on his tail. A nice little fight at the back here between the kit cars, Red Bull cars, and the McLaren at the back. DRS has been enabled as we come into the second lap. No one fighting here at the moment. But a very, very close start between Mr. J Swole and Sept as Kaz and Pachal are fighting down in the back here. Kaz getting in front of the Williams of Rapid. A fight between the two Red Bulls at the back as almost contact is made between Nutsy and Kirko. Very close up in the front here between the Ferrari of Kaz and Almighty as the Ferrari goes to go on the inside, just tucks nicely in behind the kit car of Gob. As the Arthur and Felzy coming around the inside of each other here, fighting. Felzy getting a 3-second warning, possibly forced off the track here by Arthur. As Wing touches back tyre. No damage by the looks of that for Arthur, but he is sticking to the inside as the kit car of Gob coming on the inside to join this fight. Down in 14th and 15, the Haas car of War Machine and Felty fighting at the back to get into the points, and a safety car is out. Safety car is out. Not sure what's happened here. Is there a car off the track? Oh, contact back here between Chevy and Nutsy. Wait, is the safety car out or am I glitched? That has 9 seconds, yes. Never mind. I'm glitched. Don't worry, safety car is not out. Disregard my last statement. Mr. J Swole still fighting the 3 top drivers, podium drivers at the moment. Yeah, my bad, Mason. We're all good. Fighting up here into the first sector. This has hit the second sector of the race. Only half a second between Mr. J and Sept coming into this corner. Very close in the mid-pack between the Williams, the Mercedes, and the Hasses right now. As Orb loses 4 positions. He's in the wall. He's ghosted. Not sure what's quite happened here. But Mr. Orb is currently at the back of this race. War also at the back. Not sure what's happened here. The 2 Hasses have made it from the top 10 to the bottom 2 in this race so far. Arthur getting another 3-second penalty, bringing his total up to 12. Currently in 6th place. At the end of this race, if the times are the same, Arthur will be last on this thing as Almighty God puts in a killer 124.9, getting the fastest lap of the session. Beating the second fastest lap by 0.6 of a second. As we go back to the front of this grid of Sept, who is currently putting on a clinic. Seeing this, he has led every single lap of this race, start to finish. The mid-pack currently right now all fighting between Arthur with a 12-second penalty. Currently not his race to be fighting right now, but he will still try. Almighty God on his tail, less than 2/10 behind him, coming through the fast winding corners of Sector 2. Cuts just on his tail behind that, and just inside the RS range is Felzy. And run a nice gap cutting between all of the back drivers. Chevy Wolves trying to fight with Goffey to get himself back up into a thing. Arthur with another 3-second track warning, bringing his total up to 15 seconds, but does get in front of Almighty. Not sure what his intentions are this race, but 15 seconds worth of penalties has put him at last at the moment. As Almighty gets back in front of him on the DRS. The Ferrari Cuds cutting on the inside. 6 in between. Sept, our lead driver, getting a 3-second penalty with 8 laps to go in this race. He needs to get a gap now or never. He's not going to be on pole of this race. On podium, sorry. We have Vettel in the McLaren up the back end of Mr. J Swole trying to fight for second non-stop in the other RB. fighting with this McLaren for the double podium of RB. Almighty Gob on the back end right now. Cuds currently sitting half a second behind Almighty. Arthur set making that 18 seconds. 18 seconds, Arthur. I'm not sure what you're doing right now. But whatever it is, it cannot be good for you or your car. How many seconds is quali? Nutsy down in 15th, getting a 3-second track warning as well. Bringing our total penalties up to 18 seconds for Arthur, 3 seconds for Sep, 3 seconds for Non-Stop. Felsi with 3 seconds. Combo, Rabbit, Cub, Kirko, and War all on 3 seconds. Nutsy on 6, Restless on 10. Speeding in the pit lane. As we bring the gaps back up, the fight for first, second, and third right now. Still very much in contention. Chevy bringing up another 3 seconds, bringing that to 6 seconds on his penalty list. Black and white flags. Black and white flags. For most drivers on this field right now. As I turn my HUD off so you can get some nice clean racing between the likely drivers of first, second, third and fourth, who are currently having a massive battle as we come into lap 22 of this race. Around the final second last bend, hitting that DRS sensor. Coming in the corner now, it is a very close battle where we have Seb at the front, Jay Swoll in second, Vettel in third, and Non-Stop in fourth. As the DRS swings open wide up. Closest driver right now coming around the inside, trying to get around the inside is Mr. Jay Swoll, who doesn't need to make it. Tucks right back in behind Seb. The McLaren and Vettel going side by side with Non-Stop coming through this corner, and he tucks nice in behind. Nice clean racing. We have Almighty Gorba, who's catching every single lap, putting on a clinic to get back up into the top 5. Cuds just currently sitting outside of the DRS range behind the top 5 right now. Arthur, who's down into 9th, sitting behind the Williams of Rapid. But it's still anyone's race. Arthur with another 3-second penalty, bringing that up to 21 seconds. Not sure what his plan is. We'll find out at the end of this race. I'll try and get some information out of him during my interviews. But the fastest lap still held by Almighty with a 1:24.9. Currently up the back end of Non-Stop in the RB. Is getting ever so closer on those medium tyres. Oh, the Cub with another 3-second penalty, bringing his back up to 6. As we're in contention between all top 10 drivers right now. Very, very close race. Goffey coming up fighting for 14th with Nutsy through the first sector of this track. Right on the tail end. And ever so close every single corner. As we come back to the fight of the whole race. Nice little gap of 0.7 of a second between Sept and Swell right now. Vettel on his tail with Non-Stop just behind, and Almighty in the kit car right on the back end in 5th. This is the top 5 drivers of the Qatar Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. This is tier 4, and it's still anybody's race. So we have Sept coming in first at the moment. J Swell at the back, opening that wing, trying to get up to V-Sept on the DRS straight. You got Vettel on the back end, non-stop behind then, and Almighty Gob all fighting at the same time as we come through the first corner. 4 laps remaining. You would like to see ARS? I can do that for you guys. For some reason my lap data is off as well. They use that. As we come in, the McLaren ever so getting slightly. Arthur Sen has left the session. He is finally retired. 24 seconds worth of penalties before he has left this session. I hope that he has no AI driving. Arthur has left the session. We have AI driving in number 10. As this race is still so close up in the top. Back down in 8th is Rapid getting ever so close to Felsey. Coming through the final part of Sector 2. And so close to hitting that DRS marker. Combo Ollie currently just overtook the AI of Arthur, who is slowing down, impacting everything at the moment. Arthur's AI driver is currently ghosted. As down the outside goes Rapid over Felsey coming into the first corner. He holds that, lets that stick. Nice clean overtake just there. Down in 12th. Rabbit, Wolves, all coming in down the straight. The Cub, Arthur's gone into the pits as finally his ghost is off the track. Everyone can be nice and safe as he comes off. I hope it stays off. Or not. Felsey with another 3-second penalty, bringing that up to 9. Be aware, everyone, there is an Alpine on the track that shouldn't be. Arthur has 24 seconds worth of penalties, maxi. That is what's happened right now. As the DRS gap has been taken away from Mr. J Swole coming into the 26th lap. Hitting that DRS marker, Sept is not going to have to worry about that anymore, as he can put a nice little time as to get 3 seconds ahead of Mr. J Swole to win this race. Vettel on the back end, non-stop still coming in. Just behind is Almighty Gob. And the thing is now is Cubs. Chevy Wolves with another 3-second penalty. Black and white flags all around as the RBs fight with the McLaren. Coming onto the inside as there's contact between non-stop and Vettel. Letting it through goes Almighty, getting the nice little double overtake from the contact between VLT Vettel and non-stop. The RB and the McLaren fighting them. There's going to be some contention after this race, as Almighty God brings himself onto the podium into 3rd. Coming through this race, it was an interesting battle that was occurring. There was bound to be some action, and we just got it. Felsey coming up, getting closer to Rapid in the Williams, does have a penalty, has to make a nice gap to let this overtake stick. Almighty is currently putting on the pace. Catching up every single lap to Mr. J Swole and Sept, who are both currently on hard tyres. Medium tyres seeming to be the quicker one of both at the moment. As we hit DRS, Mr. J Swole's wing will open right up as he hits hot lap on that ARS button. 3 wide down the back, McLaren, Ferrari and Red and RB, as Almighty does not get the overtake, keeps it swing, but 3 wide here as Cuds overtakes the RB of non-stop and gets ever so closer to the to the McLaren of Vettel. With 2 laps remaining left in this race, it is still anybody's race. Nice gaps forming around the field. The biggest fights being shown on the screen right now. Penalties are too much to count at the moment. With 2 laps remaining, this will be the last time I show anything. So we have Sept on 3 seconds, non-stop on also on 3 seconds with Ollie, Rabbit, Kirko, and War Machine. Arthur, who's DNF'd on 21 seconds. In 6 seconds, we have Felsi, Wolves, and Nutsy, and Cub, and 10 seconds for Restless Orb speeding in the pits. As we come round back to the Alpine of Sept. Cuds, who has made his way all the way back up to the front of this race. With final lap. We have Sept, Swole, Gob, Vettel, Cuds, Non-Stop, Rapid, Felsi, Zach, the 2 Mercedes. And in 10th, Combo, Wolves, Nutsy, Rabbit, Goffy, Cub, Orb, Kirko, War, and Arthur, who is out of this race. So the 3-second penalty is still anybody's race. J Swole and Gob, as Gob gets in front. Gob gets in front of Mr. J Swole on those medium tyres. He has a 1.5 second gap to make up through the fast sections of this race. Cuds in 4th. War with another 3-second penalty, making that 6 seconds, I believe, on that one. The McLaren of Vettel sitting behind Cuds right now, sitting in 5th place. All the way down, and the RB of Non-Stop sitting in 6th. The accident that happened earlier, he does have wing damage, missing the left front of that wing during the accident with Vettel. Slowly bringing it back in the pack. As we hit the 3rd sector, last 3 corners of this lap. It's been a long one. It's been an interesting one. There's been accidents, there's been safety cars. We hit the DRS, VSEP comes around the corner. Not currently far enough away from the drivers behind. Coming over the line first, VSEP, then Almighty Gob. Then J Swole in 3rd. We got Cuds in 4th, Vettel in 5th, Non-Stop coming over in 6th. Rapid coming over 7th, Felsi, Zach, Non-Stop, Combo, Wolves, all the way to 11th. In 12th, Nazi coming over the line. Felty Rabbit switching positions due to penalties. In 14th, we got Goffy coming up into 13th, switching Nazi and Cobb down into 15th. Restless in 16th. Coming around the last now. Restless over the line. Kirko and War coming over the line. Really nice. The penalties making this a very, very interesting race. Everyone, Almighty Gob, driver of the day, well deserved. Fought his way all the way to the end for 2nd place there. All the RBs and the massive fight between McLaren and RB during that whole race. The safety car making it interesting, getting that 7-second gap that Sept had at the start of this race all the way down into thing as Almighty Gob taking pole, taking 1st place. Mr. J Swell in 2nd and Sept in 3rd due to penalties. Unlucky for him, he ran a hell of a race. And here are your final, if we communicate, these are your final standings of the Tier 4 Round 11 Qatar Grand Prix. Almighty in 1st, Jay in 2nd, Sept in 3rd, Cuds in 4th, Vettel in 5th, Rapid in 6th, 7th is Zach, 8th is Non-Stop, 9th is Ollie, Felsi in 10th, Wolves in 11th, Rabbit in 12th, Goffy in 13th, Nutsy in 14th, 15th is Cub, Kirko in 16th, 17th is War Machine, Restless Orb in 18th, Arthur in 19th, and Batman in 10th. If I can try and get in here, multiple track warnings for every single person on this track, but we will. Very, very interesting race. Now, while I get the top 3 drivers into the the calls. I will be back in a second. Welcome, Aiden. All right, well, we have everyone here. Congratulations, boys. Top 3. I'm going to start with Aiden first, as you came over the line first. How did you feel during that race? I was just about to ask you that. What was the first thought that came through your mind when you saw that you had a 3-second penalty? Understandable. I didn't see what happened during that safety car. You had a 8-second gap at one point in the race, and there was an incident in the backfield with Batman and another driver, and it caused that safety car. Yeah, allowing that gap to form, to get closer and closer. Congratulations on 3rd. It was a great race by all 3 of you. Unlucky in the end to not be able to get that gap. You did almost have it with a 1.9 second gap right at the end there. But anyways, you enjoy the rest of your night, Aiden. Congratulations on 3rd. Now, Mr. J. Swell. How do you feel after that one? Very intense racing. Very good team fighting between you and Nonstop. And the McLaren, how do you feel about that battle during the whole race? Yeah, that's right. P2, it's good. How do you feel with your teammate and Vettel having contact during the last? Yeah, and you did well. You did well. It was a very unfortunate between the McLaren and the Red Bull. You were fighting every single lap. There was not a single time where you were out of DRS. It was great racing by all of you. Congratulations on 2nd. And enjoy the rest of your night. Almighty God. Kicks, favorite driver at the moment. There we go. You took the fastest lap at the end there with the alternate strategy.
Yeah,
Getting from hards to mediums.
Yeah, I wasn't sure on what the strat was, what the strat was like here on this game. So I thought maybe when that safety car came out, coming in onto the mediums was maybe a bad call, but I now don't think I had that same thought last week, and I mean the same thing bloody happened. So yeah, I don't know. Something's clicked for me in the last few. And then the whole incident with who was it,
Vettel and non-stop.
Yeah,
and you taking advantage of that?
Oh mate, like I saw that. I saw them fighting. And I was like, all right, sweet. This is gonna bring me at least back into the DRS and back into this fight for a podium. And then yeah, that happened, and it was just the most perfect timing because it took them off the racing line as well. So I didn't have to brake. I didn't have to make any evasive turns or anything. I just slipped my way through, and then it was head down and try to get J-Swole. I knew the tyre difference was going to be... I mean, he was going to have the better tyres, being he was on the hards, but... I mean, those mediums, they felt good the whole race.
They did.
The whole way through. I didn't feel that slippy at all at the back end.
And they looked very well too, and putting in the fastest lap twice in a row with a 1:24.9, nearly a half a second quicker than those hards.
Yeah, well, like I said, man, it just, like, the back half of that race, when the second I got onto those mediums, pretty much it was just go, try to get through. I was hoping to get through a bit sooner, but, I mean, I will say Arthur did have some speed about him on that main straight. That was just a good race. I enjoyed every second of it.
And we enjoyed watching it too. Congratulations on the win. Take it proudly and enjoy the rest of your night.
Cheers, mate. Can I put in a request for you to commentate next week as well? Because when you commentate, I seem to win, so...
When you commentate, I seem to get robbed.
That's right. I'm the new face of the T4 commentating, so I'll see what I can do, alright? all good. You boys enjoy the rest of your night, and we're off to tier 3 in half an hour, so you guys enjoy, and we'll be back then.